Welcome to Third Eye on the Prize, a portal for presence in a world addicted to appearances. Today's episode is personal. It's about my roots. As a child, I felt like I was stranded on a narrow strip of land caught between two rushing rivers. One was the river of artistry, beauty, and creativity. The other was the river of teaching, knowledge, and education. My mother lived in the first river, my father in the second. Mom was a gifted singer and songwriter. Dad was a passionate teacher and political activist. I remember once being in a public bathroom at some event, and from inside the stall, I overheard two women talking about my dad, how inspiring he was as a teacher. Years later, at his memorial service, the church overflowed with people he had touched, students, parents, colleagues. It was deeply moving. And beyond the classroom, he had marched with Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights movement of the 60s. My mom's story was just as extraordinary. She was talented enough as a jazz vocalist that in 1967 she recorded an album at Columbia Records, produced by John Hammond, a legend in the music world. Hammond had discovered or worked with Bob Dylan, Aretha Franklin, Billie Holiday, Leonard Cohen, and many others. It was a huge moment for our family. I'll never forget sitting in that recording studio control room at age 12, watching the process unfold. The whole album was improvised, just a list of songs and chord changes, no written arrangements. The reason that worked was they brought in top-drawer musicians, including a young George Benson, only in his 20s, but already great. So yes, I had fascinating parents, but they were not easy to live with. Both had survived trauma in their youth, and as a couple, they never found harmony, despite their deep musical connection. Here's one example of the polarized energy my sister and I had to live with. My mother, who'd been beaten and verbally abused by her mother, worked hard not to repeat that with us, but she developed many compulsions and phobias. Fear of water, heights, airplanes, elevators, boats, dogs, even moths. Moths freaked her out. She also meticulously sorted and saved our schoolwork and artwork, year by year, like an archivist. My father, on the other hand, who'd been sexually abused as a young teen, was larger than life. He smoked, drove fast, and loved fire. Every fall, back when burning leaves was still legal, he'd rake up piles, after we had finished jumping in them, into the backyard fireplace, light them, and watch the whole thing incinerate. One year, he tossed in all the carefully saved papers my mother had organized for years, and poof, up in smoke they went. Gone in moments. I honestly thought she might kill him. But here's what's amazing. Beneath all the chaos, one current always flowed through both rivers: music. It saturated the air in our house. It lived as an undercurrent. It vibrated as overtones and undertones. It struck a chord that kept reverberating and still flows through me today like lifeblood. I am both an artist and a teacher. At Parsons School of Design in New York, I was immersed in painting and drawing, in looking and seeing deeply, from morning till late at night. I remember when the janitor came around to tell me it was time to go home and said, "You are a stone-cold artist," which I took as the highest compliment. Later, I studied at Harvard's Graduate School of Education, and I appreciated being in a big, diverse university with students from all over the globe, sampling the vast smorgasbord of human knowledge. Since then, I've written poetry, published books, and taught in many ways. Both rivers are in my DNA, but as a child, I didn't know how to bridge them. They seemed permanently separate. My parents divorced when I was a teenager, but I always had the overpowering feeling, wow, if these two rivers had merged, it would have been amazing. Gorgeous, beautiful. The desire to honor both rivers and bring them together within myself has been a driving force in my life. I think it's part of my purpose. Please visit my website, thirdeyeontheprize.com, where you'll find my poetry, artwork, and information about tutoring. You can reach me at info@thirdeyeontheprize.com. Thank you for listening. I am grateful you're here. Please join me again for future episodes on Intuition, Our Hidden Superpower, Alignment and Timing in Life, Embodied Artistry, and which ancestors do we want to emulate, chimps or bonobos? In the meantime, keep your third eye on the prize, and remember, truth is beyond belief.